Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. Welcome back to our day 14 of Power BI sessions. So, we have successfully completed 13 days. And, first of all, completely, whatever has happened yesterday, we'll ignore the part and we'll continue from where we have stopped. So, even it's a sudden glitch that I have found in my system. And, anyways, we'll try to cope up, friends. We'll continue from whatever the topic was the last point that we have discussed. Right. So we started understanding bar chart and column charts. Even if you observe, you see my Power BI file did not got saved. Okay, so due to some issues in my system, it got suddenly it went for restart. Anyways, we'll do it one more time, but I'll make it fast. You know that why we are going to use bar chart and column charts, right? So a bar chart is used to perform comparison. Okay, if you want to compare the performance, then bar chart or column chart is generally preferred. So again, what makes the difference between bar and column? Only the alignment. So in bar chart, you will find all the bars horizontally aligned, and in column chart, you will find the bars aligned in vertical alignment. Apart from it, nothing else, friends. Even if you observe all the options that you have with respect to these two charts and the formatting options, all of them are same. All of them are same. So I'll make it fast. I have loaded a stacked bar chart. So again, stacked bar chart. Bar chart represents the bars will be horizontally aligned, and stacked bar represents the bars will be stacked one upon the other. So one over the other, right? Then we also have clustered bar chart. The difference between clustered bar chart and stacked bar chart is in clustered bar chart, you'll observe all the bars belonging to a group. It forms a cluster. Okay, again, what is the purpose? For same comparison only. Okay, comparing the performance of the products or say employees depending on the data points, right? So depending on the data, you can exactly use which chart you are going to have. So let me take the products, all of them I have it on the product name. Then I'll take it. I'll take the total amount. So this is what we observe with respect to bar chart. But is it stacked? No. Each and every bar is representing one product. So what did I have done yesterday? I have bought I have bought a field under this legend so that it immediately made a stacked bar chart. So probably category, yes, category. Clear? Anything else? Or sorry, again, instead of bringing category, if I bring location for the legend, this would make more sense. The reason is we are able to compare the products with respect to their profit that we have got at different locations. So this stacked bar chart we have converted to stacked column chart. So only the alignment. The alignment is the difference, right? Then next to stacked column, we also have clustered bar. So Instead of having these bars stacked one upon the other, we'll have all of these, you know, as a group. So this 4 belongs to LED desk lamp product. So depending on the color, we can talk about the location. Okay. So it's again the same with clustered column. So till here we have discussed, if I'm not mistaken, you know, all these topics we have discussed yesterday itself, right? Yes. Now I'm supposed to talk about 100% stacked bar and 100% stacked column. Even with respect to the formatting options, all of them are same. Okay, so data labels, you can add the data labels. If not, you can make it off. So probably this would make sense. Yes. Okay. Then I can also turn on the total labels. I can bring the uh, background color to the total labels. And so till here we have done yesterday, right? So let me rename it as bar and column chart. Bar and column charts. Friends, observe one more thing. I am not, we are just understanding only the charts. But you know, after understanding each and every chart, I am changing it. I'm not having all of them in a particular page. Okay. So using one tile itself, I'm changing, right? Now let me go and use 100% stacked bar chart. What makes the difference between bar chart, stacked bar chart, and 100% stacked bar chart is, you'll understand very easy. Even if you observe the visual itself, it will be very clear for you. See, all of them are bar charts. Moreover, they're stacked, yes. But I see all of these bars of same length, of same, what the length or height, whatever you make it. Okay, so they are of same length, all the bars. But here, no, they are of the same length, no, they are the same height, no. What is making the difference is, we'll discuss. Let us talk about the options: y-axis, x-axis, legend, small multiples, tooltips. The options are also same. Okay, then before I explain, what makes the difference between 100% stacked bar chart and stacked bar chart, you know, let me add the fields and I leave it to you. So you can easily understand what is the difference between 100% stacked bar chart and stacked bar chart. So for that, I'm taking product name, the same fields friends. Then what is the total amount that we got from each product? You see? Hmm. Same length. Okay. Then Uh, for legend, let me go with the location. Yep. So I'll give you some enough time. Understand and tell me, what did you interpret from this 100% stacked bar chart? Or what did you understand from this 100% stacked bar chart? Each and every bar, each and every bar are of same size and length. Okay. Nothing but same size, same length. Okay. But do each and every product contribute the same 100%? If I go back to, I'll make this plot to stacked bar. But here it is completely different, right? Why? I can clearly see that electric kettle is giving us very little amount, least amount. out of all the products. And LED dust clamp, the total amount that we got from all the products compared to rest of the products, we get more with respect to LED dust clamp. But here, all of them are same. Why? All of them are same, friends. Observe. Did I change the columns? No, I have used the same columns. Did I change the plot chart? Yes. Instead of stacked bar, I went with 100% stacked bar chart. So, what did you interpret from this plot? Or what do you understand from this plot? Take 1 minute of time, try to understand these bars and why are they of same size? Just think. Should I reveal? Probably yes. Anyways, 100% stacked bar. It means each and every bar will be 100%. If you see on the x-axis, I'll go back to stacked bar first of all. On the x-axis, what did we take? We took total profit, I mean total amount actually. Yes, we took total amount and I can clearly see the numbers. But if you go to 100% stacked bar chart, do you see the numbers or the percentage? I see percentage instead of numbers. I see percentage. Okay. So each and every bar will be of same length, representing each bar is 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, so on. Okay. What is the use of representing each bar 100%? Means if you take the total amount that LED that we are getting from LED dust lamp is 100 rupees. How much amount we get from Chicago? How much percent we get from Boston? How much percent we are getting from New York? And how much percent we get from San Francisco can be clearly understood. You can clearly understand the percentage of the total amount that is being generated for each and every product at each location, because all of these bars are represented as 100%. They are represented as 100%. Any changes? No. Options are same. The legend, small multiples, tooltips. See, if you want to have any additional information regarding quantity, add under tooltips, so you get the information now. So it says 39.88% of total amount out of 100% we are getting from Chicago location. For electric kettle, it's 91.14% that we get in Chicago. So I can clearly see that in Chicago location, the most widely sold product is electric kettle. I mean, apart from quantity, we are getting more amount. The more amount that we get from Chicago location is from electric kettle product. Okay, then this one from Houston it is fitness tracker. So what is this? Vacuum cleaner from San Francisco. Okay, so in this way I can clearly compare the products with respect to whatever the value that we are trying to compare. In our case, it is total amount. Okay, so we can compare the total amount at different locations as well. Not only locations, friends. See, that's what. As per our data, I'm trying to explain. But in general, when you work on different data sets, different use cases, okay, you may not have the same scenario, but try to take the right chart, and even the formatting options are same. First, the formatting options for y-axis, these axis, then for x-axis, then for legend. So where do you want to place this legend? Towards the left, right, center, middle, and your wish. Okay. Then the formatting options for small multiples. Since I haven't used any of the field, it is disabled. Then grid lines. Would you like to have any grid lines? Yes, you have to turn it on. Then a zoom slider can be added for adjusting. Then we can also come up with the ribbons. Okay, so we can make it as a ribbon chart, but this is not actually making sense. But I'll make on data labels. See, now is it clear? Yes, it is crystal clear. Should I make any changes? Probably not. This is good. Values. No. So this is good enough. I'll add a background. Okay, if I add a background, it is missing in some cases, but this is making sense. Yes. Okay, so each and every bar will represent 100%. Out of this 100%, how much or what is the share, what is the amount that we get from different locations can be compared with one product itself. Okay, right. Then we also have general formatting options, friends. For every chart we have visual formatting options. So visual starts from here, right? So with respect to the visual, we have visual formatting options, and then we have the general formatting options for the tile. Okay, so you see the title, sum of total quantity and sum of quantity by product name and location. Okay, so it's by default on, right? If you don't want to have it, you can make it off, but you can customize it also. For example, if you don't want to have this, I want to make it as 100% stacked bar chart. See, I'm making it over here. Immediately, it's reflecting in the tile. So these are the general formatting options that are available for all the tiles. For all the charts, you'll have these general formatting options. You can change your, you know, uh, text title of your tile. Okay, you can add your required text. Then you can increase the font. See how it is increasing. Then depending on the heading type, it generally it makes bold. I'll make it bold. See, I don't want to have it in black, so probably pink. Not that much good. Uh, Not sure. Okay, let me go with some color. Then background color. Which color did I use? This one, right? Right. So you can still make it big, friends. Then make it central line. So all these options are available. Okay, don't assume that the general formatting options are available only for 100% stacked bar chart. Since we haven't discussed for other charts, you'll have the same options. You can make your own title. You can add some effects, okay, to the background. Then you can also format the data. You can add the header icons, tooltips. So only because of these two options, you are able to see the tooltips option in the for this chart for 100% stacked bar chart as they are completely on, right? Yes. So the same chart, I can make it as 100% stacked column chart. See, all of them will be 100%. Each column will be 100%. On x-axis, it takes names, and on y-axis, it takes percentage. Because it's column, right? The vertical bar is representing a column now. So this is the scenario. So nothing new we have learned today. Since I'm supposed to complete this topic yesterday itself, we were unable to do it. But you know, I hope it's clear now. The difference between 100% stacked bar chart and stacked bar chart. Stacked bar chart is used to compare, to do some kind of comparison between the products, sales, employees, whatever it might be. You know, we generally stacked bar or stacked column. Okay, so since it is representing the word stacked, so these bars or columns will be stacked one over the other. And if it is 100% stacked bar, each and every will be 100%, I mean, of same length, and the bar will be stacked one over the other. Okay, so we can compare the individual, each and every product, uh, how are the sales, how is the profit with respect to different locations can be compared, friends. See, so just leave it 100% that and make it bar because I've named it as bar chart, right? So you cannot keep it as column. But I hope it's clear. Yeah, done. So what all visualizations we have understood? Very quickly, the table chart. We started the table chart. So in order to represent the data in a detailed manner in rows and columns in a tabular format, we use the default visualizations of Power BI. It is table chart. Next to table chart, we have matrix chart, and this matrix chart is generally representing a pivot table. Okay, so in Excel, if you have any knowledge of regarding the pivot table, uh, we can have drilled on options with respect to a matrix chart. So within rows and columns, we can have multiple hierarchies. Under a column, you can have multiple columns, then so on. Okay, so this matrix chart helps us to go with the drill on options, friends. Post discussing these two, we also discussed card visual for the single run measures, then card new visual, same as card visual, and then slicer. Okay, slicer is for filtering. Whatever the column or the field that you add for the slicer, so it will be like a filter that you try to filter the data using that specific column. Right. So next to that, we started with bar chart and column charts. So we understood the purpose of bar chart. It's for pure comparison. Okay. So for comparison, we generally go with the bar and column charts. It's done. Then there are rest of the charts. Yes. Next to bar chart and column chart row, we have line chart. Line chart. Yes. So the name itself, we are getting a hint on the name. A chart will be represented using line. See, let me maximize. I'll increase. A chart will be indicated. The data will be indicated using a line. It's line chart. But when generally, this line chart helps us, or when should we go and use line chart? Line chart is generally used when we are dealing with you know, um, time related data. Example, time series data. Time series data is. So if you have any one of the column in any one of the field, if you have time. Time in the sense only time? No. It can be date, it can be yearly data, it can be hourly data, it can be monthly data, it can be daily data, whatever it might be. Everything is talking about time, right? So if you are trying to visualize any time series data, then line chart will be the right visual. Line chart will be the right chart. So how should I will do it as an example. If you see, what are the options that you are able to see for the line chart? X-axis, Y-axis, secondary Y-axis. Okay, I'll talk about it. Then legend, small multiples, tooltips. So again, the same options that we have from bar chart and column chart. Yes, all of the options are same except secondary y-axis. What is the secondary y-axis? We'll discuss, friends. We'll discuss. So I'll start taking the date. Okay. So you see, I'm taking the date. I'm just selecting it. What happened? Within the date, we have year, quarter, month, day. Isn't it? I don't think so. No, we don't have year, month, quarter, date. We just have the date in date format. But what Power BI does is it identifies the hierarchies. Since we are working on a date column, it identifies the hierarchy. Within a year, you'll have quarter. Within quarter, we have months. Within month, we have days. Right? So it is identifying the hierarchy. Because of this hierarchy, you see drill down and drill up options. The drill on options are available. Oh, then just give me a minute. What I'll do is let me bring any column to y-axis so that let me see that line. Okay. What shall we, you know, which data, which column data will represent as a line? Might be the total amount that we have collected. Okay. See, what did I do? I have just selected that particular field and I'm clearly able to see that field under the y-axis. But it's not looking as a line. It is looking as a single dot. It might be you are not using line chart. Then I'm using line chart only. You see this square box, the bounding box across, I mean, uh, in which the line chart is present. So I'm for sure using only line chart. Okay, I'm not using any other chart. But why am I not able to see a line chart, but I'm able to see only a dot? Why? Come on, friends, try to interpret. What might be the reason? The data, the entire data is represented as a single dot. I have many dates, but why only as a single dot? Just take some time, you know, try to analyze. Getting any idea? No? Why is the data, this entire data of whatever we are working on, is just represented as a single dot? But I have many dates, and on these dates there are multiple sales. How? See, this is the date ID column, which is actually referenced using this date table. So on every single day, I have some transactions, and on every single day, there is some amount being returned as profit. But still, I don't know why it is marking as a single point. No idea. Probably just give a try. Right, friends? I'll disclose it. You'll understand now. So, what did we do? We are using date related column to x axis, and for y axis, I'm using one of the numeric column. So, this is the important column for me. It's total amount. What is the total amount that was being returned as profit? What is the total amount that we have got from all the products? Okay. So, I'm using it for my y axis. But thing is, I'm able to see it as a single dot. Not exactly. I have the starting value also. See, you're talking about the data or anything else, my friend? I have all the records. There are no null records. There are no columns with null values and all. If that is the case, I would have treated it right earlier. So my data looks clean. My data is clean. No issues with the data. The thing is, we are working on hierarchical based data. Hierarchical based data. What is this? For x-axis, what do you have? The hierarchy: year, quarter, month, day. So for which year? It is for 2023. And in our data, okay, even if you don't compare, you have to get the line chart right. We are representing the data of a time series data using line chart, right? Okay. So we have all these transactions in one single year, friends. It is 2023. Just because of that, you know, the data, the value is represented as a dot for entire year. Oh, then I'll do one thing. I'll go to the next level in the hierarchy using this double arrow marks pointing downwards. I'll go to the next level. What is the next level? Next to here we have quarter. Again, let me go and see. Again, it is saying why the data that we have is for only one quarter. If you have for multiple quarters, you would have visualized the line chart. But you have the data within only one quarter, 1 year. Okay, let me go to the next level again. Again, it is a single dot. So now it's clear. The data that we have is only for 1 month. That is January, the first quarter of 2023. So if I go to the next level, next 2 months we have day, right? So if I go to the next level, then it shows me a line chart. It displays a line chart. How come? Starting from day one, first Jan, then second Jan, third Jan, fourth Jan, fifth Jan, so on. You see the points, right, friends? So this is representing the entire data of our superstore. Okay, the store data that we have worked so far is only for January 2023, and you are able to represent it using a line chart. How come you are able to represent? Because we have the date, the time related column. Okay, now I can visualize a line chart. Is it clear? Yep. I'll talk about the secondary y axis, but before that, Legend, we are aware of this legend. Okay, so if you want to compare the same, what the total amount with respect to different days at different locations. So this is on Jan 1st, 2023 at different locations. Probably no sales or no profit on in San Francisco. There is no amount that we have got from San Francisco on Jan 1st. You see, it's very clear. So, to whatever level in the hierarchy with respect to the date, we can go, friends, just because of line chart. So, wherever you have the requirement, just go and place your cursor. It will display the complete information. Okay. In the same way, we can also add an QE for small multiples so that your line chart will be broken into different multiples. Okay. The same case. Then next to small multiples, we also have tooltips. So additional information, if you want to have any other column information, bring that column, bring the field under tooltips so that when you hover your mouse, you get the information of that particular field as well. Okay. Now let us go and discuss secondary y-axis. Secondary y-axis. The option that we got for line chart, it's a different option that we got for line chart because this option is not present for bar and column charts, right? Yes. So what is this secondary y-axis? Towards the left of the chart, you see one axis. This is called y-axis. Okay, I'll remove it. This is called y-axis. Then, what is secondary y-axis? Towards the right side of the same line chart, towards the right side, we can have secondary y-axis. So that means if you have any target in general, when you do some real-time work, whatever work that you do, whatever task that you do, we have some, targets. So, so this will be your actual friends. And on secondary y-axis, you can take your target and you can compare with your target whether you have reached the target or not. But in our case, anyways, we don't have the target column. But as I want to show you, I want to showcase how this secondary y-axis display. I'm taking quantity as an example. I'll not take into the same axis. Let me bring into secondary y-axis. See, quantity. Quantity on secondary y-axis, total amount on primary y-axis, nothing but y-axis. But if you see, can we compare in this fashion? No. In general, no, because it doesn't make sense. The reason is total amount is very big in number, friends. So if you see the scale of total amount, it is 0 to 2000. But for quantity, the scale is 0 to 35, just 0 to 35. And here it is 0 to 2000. So you cannot compare such kind of values. Still, if you want to compare, make excuse me, make sure that you change or bring both of these two column axes to same level. To the same level, you are supposed to bring the axis. Okay. So how can we do that? Is using formatting options. Okay, so in formatting options, you'll have changing the axis values. So make sure for primary axis and secondary y-axis, the same range. Nothing but the values for the axis should be considered. If not, there is no point of comparison with respect to time. Don't assume all of these are same, friends. Line chart is also used for comparison only. If you have anything else to be compared, you'll get an additional option to compare. See, target, target profit, actual profit. You can compare, but what is the base? It is with respect to time. Between this time period, you know, did we actually achieve our target or not? Can be compared. Can you do the same thing for bar chart? Can you take a time column and compare? Probably no. For sure, no. Right? So I'll it. Then I'll talk about the formatting options that we have for line chart. The same axis. So if you would you like to have continuous or categorical? Okay, so I'll give it as continuous only. If it is categorical, decide all 30 days. So let me give it as continuous. Minimum maximum range can be altered. Then the values for the values, you can change the style settings. Okay, the display units. Then the title. So if you don't want to have the title, you can make. But title, if you have the title, it will make sense, right? Yes. So these are the formatting options that we have for x-axis. In the same way for y-axis. Okay, you can adjust the range. I was talking about the range, right? So you can adjust the range. Minimum, maximum can be adjusted. Then you can format the values of y-axis, and you can also make the title formatted for y-axis. In the same way, we'll have an additional formatting option for secondary y-axis. Anyhow, I did not add, but you know we can have formatting options for secondary y-axis as well under line chart. Then next to secondary y-axis we have legend. Okay, I did not use any legend. So far I have used and I made it off. So the options are disabled. Then grid lines, would you like to have grid lines? Horizontal, yes, I'm able to see the grid lines. Would you like to increase the transparency for better understanding? Yes. Better to change the color. Now, yes, I can see the grid line. Instead of dotted style, would you like to have solid? So it seems a perfect line chart. Okay, so you have to adjust whatever you feel it better. You can have it, friends. Then the same for vertical. Would you like to have vertical grid lines? Yes. Then make sure you also change the color and change the style of the color. Probably solid. Yes. So the grid lines are active now. In the previous chaos also they are active, but the thing is they are the color of the grid line is too dull. So I have made it. I have used black color, and now I can clearly see the grid lines. So I can clearly see. I can clearly interpret the line chart first of all. Right. So these are the options that we have for grid lines. Then next to grid lines, we also have zoom slider. So for adjusting on x-axis and y-axis. Okay, and you have the formatting options. Then lines. Okay, would you like to have lines? Yes, apply for all. Line style solid. So it's talking about this line, friends. Okay, if not, you can change to dash. See, so at the end of the day, we have to make this style beautiful. Whatever it might be, you have to make it beautiful. Then it's not dotted, it's not custom. You can customize with your own, what character and all. Then joint type round. If not guitar, okay. If not dual, so you can use any of these, okay. And you can also change the color of the line. By default, it is blue, right? So if your blue is not making sense, increase the transparency, or it's better if I go with solid line that will make yeah. This is actually beautiful. This is wonderful, right? So then shade area. Would you like to have shade area? Shade area is nothing but whatever the area that this line makes with the x-axis, whatever the area that is present between the line and the x-axis will get shaded, friends. Will get shaded. This is only called as area chart. The next chart is area chart. Nothing but you know, it's a line chart where the area between the x-axis and the line gets shaded. The area gets shaded. Okay, so by default it will be off. You can make it on for making it beautiful. Then markers. Would you like to add markers? Yes. Okay. Type is you're able to see dots, right? You can change it. Square or a triangle, rhombus, whatever it might be. A diamond. Okay. Probably circles. They are good. You can add a different color. So in order to hide them, add a different color. Probably which color will make more sense? Even I'm not sure. It's not. Then you can also make okay border. You can turn on the border so that it identifies clearly that it's a marker. Okay, I have made the borders on for the markers, so I can clearly see that it's a marker. If you make it off, probably you may not. Right? Yes. Then you can make the data labels on the same options that we have with respect to, you know, bar chart and column chart. We have the data labels, right? See, it is representing the amount on the specific day. On 15th, why it's not given here? In rest of all the cases, it has given, but in some, okay, let me probably, when I'm hovering my mouse, I'm able to see the value, but I don't know why. Okay, look at it. Okay. So would you like to have the title as well? Detailed. Okay. The background. Hmm. I'll look into it. Okay. Probably there must be some issue. Then leader lines. Okay. You can also have the leader lines, but this is the important option, friends. Series labels. What is the overall total amount that we have got? Should I add all these numbers? Not required, right? So when you make the series labels, you have the series label for it, especially when you are going to have multiple y-axis and secondary y-axis. In those cases, what happens is each line belongs to what should be identified. So when you have this series label, it's better it gets identified sum of total amount. Okay. Okay. I'll make increase the size. Hmm. So this particular line is talking about total amount. If I have similar, if I have many lines and probably different fields will be used, right? So in those cases, when you make this series label on, you can clearly identify which line belongs to which field. So my line chart is ready. So this is my line chart. These are the basic visual formatting options, and we also have general formatting options. Seeing the title, affects data format, header icons, tooltips. You see, okay. Then we also have further analysis. We can add further analysis to our visual. In the sense, we can have a trend line. Trend, it talks about uh, how is the amount, I mean the total amount from starting of the day till the end of the month. Okay, from starting of the month till the end of the month, how is the trend? Is it going upward, downward? Can be understood. See, this is a trend line, a dotted line. So it is black and dashed. Okay, if you want, you can make it a solid line. So this is how the trend is. Trend is actually representing the average. Okay, so probably with respect to our sales, it is downward trends. I mean, the amount that we are getting is not increasing with respect to day by day. Okay, of Jan, it got decreased. So we have to look into it. Then we can add a constant line for x-axis. Okay, so see, add it. For that, I think we are supposed to give the value. Okay, if you have any say target, for example, probably 1,000. If any particular, no, yep, this is for y-axis, x-axis, right? Yep. So if you see on the x-axis, there is a constant line added, but I'm not supposed to add a constant line here. Probably I have to go and add a constant line on y-axis, and it is 1,000. Yep. So wherever now it's very clear for us on which days we are unable to meet the profit. So if I can rename it as this being the target line. Okay. So on how many days I did not actually meet the target can be understood. We can do some kind of again, whether the target is met or not can be understood. I'm making this trend line off as it is disturbing. Okay. Right. Then the data label can be on its 1,000. Okay. I'm resetting the default. In the same way, we can add a minimum line, a maximum line, average line, median line, percentile line. But all of these resembles, they are completely dependent on the business friends. Okay, so it's not like we go and add some take random numbers and add these lines. Okay, there will be some thresholds. So depending on these thresholds, we add these lines. So is there any product that fall beyond the min line? Or is there any product that fall beyond the max line? Okay, can we can go and do such kind of analysis. Everything can be done. Okay, we can do all such possible analysis, and you know we can get our results visualized. A beautiful chart will be ready at the end of our day, and this can be posted to the client. So the same, I'll go back I'll go back and the same line chart, you have it as the area chart. Okay, so I'll talk about area chart as well because let me remove this shade area. Now, the same chart I'm converting as area chart. See the differences. Converted, yes. Now go back to the formatting options. You see the shade area. So it is same as a line chart. Line chart and area chart both are same. Okay. So area chart, what happens is it shades the area that is between the line and the x-axis. A different visual. That's it. Apart from it, the formatting options, the purpose, everything is same as line chart. Same as line chart. Then we also have stacked area chart. For better, I'll do one thing. I'll bring legend. I'll add a legend, its location. Is it clumsy? Yes, because of uh, the options that we have used, it's clumsy. So this is for San Francisco, Chicago, and New York. But Houston, where is Houston? This is Houston. Yes. Sorry, this is Chicago, and this is Houston. Sorry. Right? Hmm. So is it looking clumsy? I'm unable to interpret the results. Then go for stacked area. What stacked area does is it piles up one over the other, the same stacked bar concept. Here, the area chart gets stacked over the other. Got it, friends? So that makes the difference between area chart and stacked area chart. Okay, 100% stacked area chart. Each and every area chart, stacked area chart will be converted as 100%. Now we can compare it, but this is not actually making sense. So I'll go back and I'll remove the legend. I'll keep it as is so that I can use it in my dashboard. On the final day, probably on no 3 to 4 days, we are going to create a dashboard. So for this dashboard, we'll use all these styles. I'll rename it line chart. So line chart, area chart, stacked area, and 100% stacked area chart. All of these four are generally used to you know represent time series data. If you are generally working on on a data in which you have time, okay, so a column in which we have time related data, we can visualize such kind of data using line chart or area chart, even stacked area and 100% stacked area. A minute differences, same like line and bar and column chart. The similar way, there are minute differences. Stacked area, 100% stacked area. Then area. Clear? Yep. So tomorrow we'll discuss the pie chart, donut chart, and few more map visuals. Then we'll go with R and Python visuals. So using the code, how are we going to get R and Python visuals? We'll understand in tomorrow's class. And for time being, just try to work on these, you know, concepts, whatever we have discussed today. On whatever the plots, whatever charts we have discussed, I request friends, you are supposed to do hands-on. Hands-on in the sense, try to visualize them, visualize the data, the tablet data. Okay, so it's time for our technical questions. Any questions? Yeah. So If no questions, take any of the random data set and try to visualize the data, friends. Apart from it, we are getting good feedback from your end. So yeah, so regarding the internship, we are soon going to launch internship for our students. Okay, so and there is a demo for these internships on this coming Sunday. Okay, it's 16th of this month. We have a demo. I request all of our students to join this demo. This is free, friends. Okay, so join this demo and get some knowledge on the internships. So how are these internships are going to shape your career? We're going to discuss all those things in the demo. Okay, I'll talk about all the phases that we come across in each and every internship. So probably we'll share you the details, either it is a Zoom or any other source or the platform. We'll share the details by Saturday, and I request all of the students to join and get enough, information. Right. So we have the feedback link posted. So before you leave, fill up this feedback link and give your valuable feedback. If no questions, thank you so much for joining, friends, and making this session beautiful, amazing. And I also request to give a like before you leave and share across multiple channels. Your friends, relatives, or whomever it might be, whoever is eager in learning Power BI, just share these beautiful, amazing sessions with your friends. Okay, right. So we'll meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Have a great day. Signing off.